Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, my Veterans Council Veterans Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram fans. So, hey, how you doing? It's Friday. I know everybody getting ready to get out of head to the weekend, and here we are. This is almost our last podcast in our journey to the summit. So, journey to the summit is what we've done. Whenever we have an event, we normally 4 or 5 weeks out. We start doing a journey to the summit. We start providing you guests. People are going to be the guest panels, give you more some agendas and all that kind of stuff. For those who guys who are here this Friday, you get a special treat. Not only do you get a chance to see and hear one of our guest speakers on the panel, but you also get a chance to see the agenda. You get the agenda, see the agenda here first. But before I show you the agenda, I always had this following me. So it's now time for intro. So there you have the intro. Hey, welcome guys. It's Friday, the 7th of November, a little bit after 1 o'clock, and we're here for the final episode of our Journey to the Summit. And you said, Journey to the Summit for what? Well, just in case you don't remember, it's this. It's Veteran Family Mental Wellness Summit, Veteran Family Mental Wellness Summit. And we think this is very important on the 15th of November and St. Pete College Gibbs campus. This is important because we always talk about the veteran, but what about the family? What are we doing to support the family? The family are in the first line, first line of the shrapnel, what we call shrapnel, when the veteran has PTSD, depression, whatever mental disorder that the service connected. It's a family that gets it. And what are we doing for them? Most of the stuff that's being set out there are really for the veteran, but not for the family. Well, this summit is going to change that paradigm just a little bit. We want to sit there and focus on the family. We're talking about the spouses, the girlfriends, the boyfriends, the aunts, the sisters, the uncles, the kiddos, the relationships. Doesn't matter if you're connected to the veteran. This summit is for you. And if you're connected to the veteran, it's free. That's what I said. I said free. We like free. Again, the Military Veterans Family Mental Health Summit is on the 15th of November. I know it's busy, and a very, very busy month at from 9 to 4 at the St. Pete College. And this is also aligns with our Military and Veterans Family Recognition Month. For those who guys didn't know, I did a poll out there on LinkedIn, and I was kind of surprised. Maybe 60% of the people didn't know about this. You rarely hear about it because all you hear most about in the airways is the Veterans Day. Well, it's the same month, the whole month is for Military and Veterans Family, and we're recognizing that, and that summit is part of that recognition. Before I go any further than that, I want to sit there and give a really big shout out to the Toyota Tampa Bay for their donation and for sponsoring our food and T-shirts. If anybody, hey, I'm not a real good seller. I'm military. I'm not a real good seller, but I can tell you what, we appreciate the generous offer from the Toyota Tampa Bay. Thank you very much. So if you go into a Toyota, tell them, hey, I saw Veterans Council Veterans, and they said you helped them out. So spread the word, and it will also help us out as well. And speaking of spreading the word, I always talk about this too. Sharing is caring. Whew. You don't have to lift. You don't even have to spend it down. You ain't got no money. Hey, we understand that. But what does it take to just share? Sharing is caring. You never know who that you may have shared that may need this information we're having. So on this thing, we wanted to get to 100. We got to 57. Got a double print. I want to recognize Erica Cole. She shared it three times. We should get like a little gold star when you share more than 3. A gold star for sharing. Veteran Social Summit. Mark Lobstein. We had a great conversation with Mark Lobstein with the Warriors. Vet for Warriors. He'll be out there as well. So thank you, Mark, for sharing. Joseph. We got a couple people coming with you, Joe. So thank you for sharing. Sharing is caring. Annie Oakland, I know Annie. If you're out there, Tony says hi. I know we haven't talked in a long while. Love what you do, but thank you for sharing. Alchemy Green out in Delaware. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for sharing. We also got Extra Slide, and these are from our Facebook. I always so focused on LinkedIn. Yeah, so wait a minute, I got people on Facebook sharing this stuff as well. Facebook. Thank you for sharing. We're going to sit there. Danny Fleary, Shay G. Sherry G used to be the sergeant major and for the Air Force, McDill Air Force Base, a couple years until she retired. I think now she works at Tampa Airport. Jim Ramos, 4 times Gold Star. Jim, gotta get a Gold Star. DiMattello, Carice St. George out there in Jacksonville, Sorrow, Brandon Veterans Hall. Thank you very much, Sean DeGore, Stacy Ward, Patty, Patricia, and the God. I know it's Patty. Patty's a strong supporter of Veterans Council veterans. She's the one you see also when we do our special memorial. Thank you, Patty, for sharing. Jim Rumley, shopping local with St. Pete Shopping Company. Larry, how you doing? Shout out to Larry, what you doing? We appreciate you sharing this, caring. Lakeisha Cole, I met Lakeisha Cole at Military Influencer Conference. So she has time to sit there and share this. So thank you, Lakeisha, for sharing. Doc Privette, and then finally the Marset family. That's Sid Def. Thank you, Sid, for sharing. Sharing is caring, sharing, caring. We went out with 100. We wanted to do 100. We got 57. So we didn't go. We kind of fell short, but you know what? I'm still glad of all that the sharing. You never know who you may have helped by just sharing. Whew. Well, I want to, I want to make sure that, hey, I'm tag teaming this as well. First, I'll show you that my tag team has been part of this. Then I'm going to show you a special guest that's going to be part of this as well. But first, let's bring my tag team partner on with me. Hey, Angela, how you doing, Angela?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Long time no see. I mean, like an hour ago, but long time no see. I know you can't wait to go from what's the temperature in Minnesota?
It's pretty chilly today. Let me look and see, but I think it's been colder than usual. We've had some frosts, and we've had as of right now, it's a brisk 40 degrees, but feels like it's 28.
40 degrees is like we're in Florida, so Florida that's like a planet temperature. It's like Mercury, or not Mercury. That's like Pluto temperature for us. We have space gear on for that kind of weather. Well, you're gonna be here next. You're gonna be here next week, so you get a chance to see feel the heat and all that kind of stuff. So I know you want to go back when you come to Tampa. You say, man, I'm going back to Minnesota. Oh, by the way, didn't the Eagles play Minnesota Vikings? I just thought I had to add it in there. Go Birds! But anyway, thank you. So Angela will help us. Anna help us as well, and she also is part of the agenda with her and her husband. We'll talk about that as we flip through the slides. Whew, we got a special treat. So those who showed up, who's here on a Friday at 1 o'clock, they can be anywhere to hear. We're going to give you an inside peek of what's going to occur at our summit. All right, here we go. We're going to throw these slides down. But you know what? Before I do that, should I bring on our special guest, or should I wait a little bit, Ty? What should we think? Should I bring her right now?
Yeah,
let's bring her on right now. Okay, let's bring the special guest on here. All right, let me take the slides so people can see who that is. Who we're talking to? There she is, Dr. Sarah Nicholas. How you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing well. How is everyone doing today?
Oh man, we're great. When we get to your slide, once you kind of talk about this, that event, when we get to your slide. But Dr. Nicholas is a psychologist. I've known her for years. She's been a volunteer with Veterans Council and Veterans. She's got her own practice on that as well. And she will be at least a couple of the panels, so we can make sure we do this right. And she is the daughter of a veteran, and kind of got that insight of what that may be, what that feels like. So that's why she has some insights into some of the things we're going to do it. But I want to make sure everybody's seeing Sarah and Sarah, and then make sure now that Sarah has a child and stuff. You got to be careful when you have a child. You start getting that photo bomb, and stuff. You start seeing the kid. I know how old is your son? How old is your son now?
He's about 1.5 years.
So he's almost at the point we can just crawl up there and make some noise. But we'll see.
He's crawling, he's walking, he's running.
Yeah, I can't wait. I hope that happens. I hope he just come flying by. But anyway, so now you got the child. So thank you again for Sarah for being a special guest. And I'm going to sit there and run down our events so unfortunately, the way this thing works, I can't see everybody here, so you just have to listen to me. The picture you see right now. You see me, you see Angela, you see Sarah, because now you're just going to see the screen. So this is what we kind of went through already when our coordination meeting. And I want you guys, to blah, 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 but this is the concept of our operations. At the end of the day, it's all about veterans' families that are supporting that veteran. The Veterans Council of Veterans says strengthen the family, you strengthen the veteran. We take care of the family, we take care of the veterans. And we need to start advocating more for the families of veterans, especially that veteran has PTSD or depression, something like that was caused by the service. If it's service connected, it only makes sense that also is allowed to the family, open to the family as well. We're going to push it. We're going to push it. In fact, what I'm going to be doing this week, when I come back next week, we're going to be I'll be talking to. We already talked to. As a matter of fact, I'll bring it right now since I brought it up. We've already talked to these guys. Fincher Driscoll, who's a minority leader. We've already talked to Representative Danny Alvarez and State Senator Burgess, and both State Senator Burgess and Daniel both have families, and so this should not be too far-fetched. But later on Thursday, we're going to be talking to Bernie Jacks, who's the chair for the government for the Florida representative. We're going to again mention families, and then on Friday they have the old Pinellas delegation coming on Friday, and we're going to be out there too. That's part of what we do. We advocate. What about the families, right? Someone say, what about the families? That's what we're going to do on that. That's what advocation means. Okay, let's get back to the slides. Slide number 2. Well, we already talked about the concept. Now this is kind of, we'll run it down. This is what the dinner is going to look like. We're going to have, what's missing, you'll see in slides easier. What we decided, since there's so much going on, and we can ask Dr. Nicholas to kind of comment a little bit about that, but there's so much stuff going on right now with the shutdown of the government, we're now doing hurricane season, which is a time when everybody's anxious already. And we have the holidays coming up from Thanksgiving to Christmas. All these things here can really be a lot of stress on the families. So an hour before we start the event, we're going to have what's called a military and veterans family check-in. This is the time we give people the opportunity to ask questions to the panelists, with psychologists and we have some psychologists, counselors, we have military one source going out there to answer your questions, who are like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm feeling this, he's doing this, what can we do? So that's the whole time for the first hour that we're going to talk about it. Then that's not on the slide, but that's what we're going to do from 9:05 to about 9:35. Now let's go on to the schedule here. All right, so we got the check-in, as I just mentioned. We've got a couple more going to be there. Military one source, part of that 9:30. So those guys in the military, hopefully you'll be there to check up. Come with your questions. You either voice the questions or you can put it write on a piece of paper, but we want to know your questions so we can sit there and answer them, help you when you leave there. Then we're going to have PTSD in the family, and that's going to be by Anna Anastra from Bay Pines, VA. So she's supervisor for the local recovery. So we got the Bay Pines involved in this, and a spouse, Chrissy, whose husband is, in fact, my cousin, whose husband has PTSD, and she's going to give us some insights on what she went through as a caregiver. Then we're going to talk about suicide in the family. I tell you, it's called postvention, but then you won't hear much about that. But when a family experience a veteran dying by suicide, they're exposed to it, and the chances of dying by suicide increases 50%. So we're going to have a conversation about that. Carol Razor is going to be there. Carol Razor is a retired police sheriff captain out of St. Pete. She lost her son to suicide about 10 years ago. And military sexual trauma and the family with Kevin Cagle and Dr. Nicholas. Give like a 2-minute blurb on what we can look for to this panel, Dr. Nicholas.
Sure. So I know Kevin will be speaking more about his experience as a survivor. As a military sexual trauma psychologist, my job is going to be to just give a bird's eye view into how a veteran struggling with MST then struggles with his family, and then how the family struggles. So a big thing that tends to come up is struggles with intimacy, struggles with feeling close to other family members. And many times it can be things like passing on fears of being safe to children and kind of overprotecting children and kind of creating generational trauma through that, in addition to all of the potential trauma symptoms, right? Like having anger and irritability that impacts the household as well. And so I will be talking about all of the MST, PTSD symptoms that are impacting the veteran, but then how those are also impacting spouses and children.
Yeah, one thing you mentioned is kind of when we say MST PTSD. What people don't realize out there is that MST is really a VA thing. It's not an actual diagnosis. It's the regular world is just sexual assault, and the only way it relates to the military is they call it PTSD. Symptoms of PTSD. So just for those guys who are out there don't realize when you mention together, they come together, but it's a PTSD diagnosis that's what you get when it comes to service connected. And we'll talk about that as well. So that kids can get as well. So that you'll see Sarah there for that. Thank you, Sarah, for that. We're going to be Dimension of Family. We got Colonel Rich Corson. Some of you guys may have seen in a couple of our presentations. Rich has been clinically pre-diagnosed with dementia, and he's going to tell you about what he experienced and how that families interacted with that. And he'll have some tidbits, some things you need to look out for if you've been pre-clinically. One of his biggest things is get pre-clinically diagnosed, so that way you have opportunity to do things ahead of time to slow down some of the symptoms. So Rich is a retired Special Forces guy, special operator. So we're looking forward to seeing him again. Elderly veterans in the family. We got the slides pushed out. Elderly veterans. We got Pamela McCoy and Ashley Lee. Pamela's husband's a retired Air Force, and her father's retired Air Force as well. And between Ashley and her, they'll talk about the struggles they had with their mental health and their family. They're trying to take care of this elderly veteran. Military dependence and mental wellness. That's something you're going to see my pretty face about this. But this is, people need to realize what the kids go through when they're the dependents of a military service person, and how it may affect their social development and mental health. And we're going to talk about that. Kind of things we went through when we were kept moving. And we'll have Dr. Stephen Ramos. He's been 18 years and is enlisted and 10 years as an officer. He's the LCSW and PhD, and he was a supervisor up there in McDill Clinic. So he's going to be up coaching us, talking us through that as we sit there and talk about what we experienced and for those who still, especially if you're transitioning, things you need to look for when it comes to your children, when that may affect them from this constant moving around, especially going from another country, from two countries that so different cultures and stuff. That can affect the child. So that's going to be a very interesting spot there. Military family transition and mental wellness. Well, guess what? One of the people who's going to be part of that will be Angela and her husband. New addition, Angela Cannavalo, Colonel Aaron Rona, and he's going to be there. So give us a little insight. Don't give us too much, but a little insight what we're going to expect on that at that panel, Angela.
Well, we're just going to come and we're going to have a little bit of a panel to discuss transitioning from military service to veteran service. Really, everyone's transition is different, and the military does a really good job with preparing you for, moving and deployments and reintegration after those hard times. But they really haven't done a good job, I feel, that really working on a program for transitioning outside of service. And so that's kind of some of the things that we're going to talk about. And, everyone's story is different, but it's good to get some insight and prepare people for when they do leave service.
And even though that you say everyone's story is different, which is true, but they'll see things that are common, which help normalize it. Because sometimes you think it's just you that's reacting and not realizing that person right down there had the same problem when they transition, or the kids or the effect of the kids. That's another thing too. We want to know about how did it affect the kids doing this adjustment. So it'll be a great panel. I'm looking forward to it. And we got, like I said, we got a really. If you look at our stuff, we got all-star casters here. We got in there as we just talked about that again. I don't want to repeat myself. Okay, so that's really end of that. Let's take that off and get back to us again. So one of the things that anybody may have seen what you should see is this is great content. This is not just me talking. These are experts coming in from. We got James A. Haley's going to be there with Steve Wadensky. We have Bay Pines is going to be there with. We got PhDs and psychologists like Dr. Nicholas and Steve and all those guys there. We got family people who can actually ask questions. So this is a place to be. They really want to find out what's going on as we navigate through this. And this is not a one-off. We plan on having another check-in at the middle of December, right before Christmas starts out. We plan on creating an advisor group called Military and Veteran Family Advisor Group, so we can have a bigger footprint moving forward for 2026. And it's part. If you notice, one thing I didn't mention is in this recognition piece here, there are things we're going to be doing. We're going to, because of the money, we're going to be offering some money. We're going to offer some money, some certificates. We'll have one at the American Legion Post 5. They're doing something on the 21st of November. We'll be providing certificates for them. We're also providing every week, going $150 certificate to a military or veteran family. Then at this summit, we're going to provide up to 250. We're going to do more than that. We're going to actually have up to 250. So every hour, we're going to do a raffle, and we're going to raffle off a certificate. Every hour, we're going to raffle a certificate. So so that's there, and we get the $250 as well. So we want to try to do our part. It takes the whole village, not just Veterans Council veterans, and we're going to start our part. We're hoping that once we start it, people will follow it. Whoa, so there you go. So by you listening to this podcast, you are way ahead of everybody else, because now you get a chance, not only get a chance to see a couple people going to be part of this summit, but you also have to get an insight on what we're going to be talking about at this summit on the 15th of November. Again, 15th of November at the St Pete Gibbs College or campus, 9 to 4. It's free for anybody that's military connected. So anyway, again, we want to also give a special shout out to the Toyota Tampa for the huge sponsorship. We appreciate that. And before I go, any of you ladies got anything, one little, like a one sentence or two you think we should say that may help out? So I'll start with you, Dr. Nicholas. What do you want them to take away from this event?
I really want them to take away that there is support, there are resources, and really important information is going to be shared with the goal of everyone feeling seen and heard and connected to the community that really understands them.
I couldn't do that better than myself. I got to write that stuff down. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah. Angela, anything, any last word before we sign off?
I agree with Dr. Nicholas, and hopefully this will be a great summit where everyone has something positive to take away from it.
Yeah, I agree. And I really love the village piece. That's why we look at people there. In fact, we're supposed to have military one source supposed to be there, and we're supposed to have the military family life cycle if they're there as well. So you have questions. A lot of tables. We got a lot of vendors tables. Those vendor tables are for you guys for resources, as Dr. Nicholas was saying, the resources for you guys that you may not know existed out there. We got FDVAs coming. We got a lot of people coming to VA, all that kind of stuff there. So just it's a great place to learn, and then pass on what you learn as well. I got a couple of comments here. Let me see what we got here. Oh, okay. There's Joseph. Yeah, thank Joe for your. I think you asked. I don't know who you bringing, Joe, but you bring like a tribe. So, well, thank you for sharing as well, Joe. So, for your comment as well. Appreciate that. All right. So I can be able to show this. This is Joseph Grays, recruiting. Thank you, Joe. Yep, Brandon Veterans Hall. That's chaired by Chandra Gore, doing a lot of great things. Yes, Chandra, it's about the families too. The families. All right. I think that's what we got. Oh, Larry want to say, yep, Larry said Project Red Relief to be involved. Project Red Relief is also one of our sponsors throughout the year. I should have put their number up there as well. I'll make sure we have them on our program as well. But Project Red Relief is out of a part of, they're not American, they're part of American Legion, they're part of American Legion, and they provide some funding for Veterans Council very well. So I want to make sure I get that shout out to Project Red Relief, Robert James and his crew, and Jennifer. And I'll see you guys on the 21st at the American Legion Fall Convention as well. But thanks, Larry, for bringing that up. Whew. Okay, ladies, I'm about ready to go solo, but I appreciate you guys for showing up on a short notice. And I'll see Angela Friday, and I'll see you, Sarah, on Saturday. There you go, guys. You got it, man. We got a short, it's longer than I normally like to be, but I want to give you guys a kind of the dump, what's going on, what to expect. Again, families. And that one thing I did forget to mention, we are going to feed you for breakfast and lunch, and an all-star caterer, delectable caterer. And I tell you, when we had those guys last couple months ago, the number one, the most talked about five-star was this caterer. So you're gonna have this chance to see this caterer again to come here. So we're gonna feed you. It's for free and get information. What more can you ask for? Again, before I go, just to remind you guys, Military and Veteran Family Mental Wellness Summit, 15th of November, 9 to 4 at St. Pete Gibbs College. See you there. So until then, guys, I'm ready to go. It's time for my outro. See you guys next Saturday.